Mr. President, for this opportunity that you have given to me to make a few remarks about what is on the table before all of us. Distinguished colleagues, I know how senators have been feeling about the subject of discussion today. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am sure that all of us are very well aware of the efforts that were made to avoid today. And so I want to say, on behalf of myself and my colleagues on this side of the aisle, that we feel very sad that this thing is coming from this side. I would have loved that it is coming from this side. Mr. President, I want to say without any fear of contradiction that it is very, very unfortunate that it has come this way. Like I said, all efforts were made to avoid what is happening today. We are members of the minority on this side. But we are also senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And we have our rules. And as chronologically put together here, there is no doubt that there has been a breach of our rules. And breaches of rules and laws definitely come with consequences. These are the consequences that have been put very clearly here, that ordinarily would have been avoided. Mr. President, we are not against the report. But Mr. President, I want to remind all of us that we are all Nigerians. And as Nigerians, we have the tradition encapsulated in the sage that if you beat your child with the right hand, you draw that child with the left hand. We therefore say that this Senate is aware that even in our homes, we have very recalcitrant children. We don't drive these children away from the house. So we keep begging them to be of good behavior. Sometimes we beat them too. And so today we are faced with this situation that we all know impinges on the integrity of this institution, that is ordinarily the highest lawmaking institution in Nigeria. And so the expectation of many Nigerians is that we must demonstrate the highest level of integrity. And it starts with obeying our rules. Having said that, Mr. President, from this side of the aisle, we want to plead that while implementing these recommendations that will be approved by the Senate, or is most likely to be approved by the Senate, if it is convenient for the Senate and Mr. President, now that even the committee has given a window of possible mitigation of this sentence, we want to ask if it is convenient for the Senate and Mr. President that the 6 months punishment for suspension be reduced to 3 months. I say this with all with all sense of responsibility, but I think that with what has been canvassed here and the unanimity of senators on the gravity of these incidents, on the integrity of this institution, that 3 months is sufficient for some level of restitution. That 3 months will be enough for our sister and us here to reflect, to circumspect, and agree with the generality of opinion here. One person or 2 persons, or even a group of persons, cannot be bigger than the generality of the Senate here. And even as we rose from our meeting yesterday, to avoid this moment, we had raised a subcommittee to interface with the relevant persons in this impasse. Unfortunately, we have not been able to actualize our desires until today. And so, Mr. President, on behalf of myself and my colleagues here, we just pray that this type of ugly circumstance will not rear its head again. And going forward, having admitted that we are one family in this Senate before, that we will continue to remain the one family that we have adopted for ourselves in the past, believing that Nigerians are looking up to us for laws and checks that will bring succor to the ordinary Nigerian. I think that, as unfortunate as it is, this distraction is avoidable. And after today, Mr. President, I hope very sincerely that all of us will put hands together to ensure that we abide by the rules of the Senate, that we conform ourselves and focus ourselves very, very sensibly on the reasons why we are here, to make laws for this country, to attract benefits to our constituencies, and ensure that Nigerians benefit from good governance. Mr. President, I thank you for this opportunity.
If you were speaking for all on the other side of the aisle, nobody would have raised his hand. But I can see Father, the Zuni Senator, Father Honsi, is still raising his hand. Maybe you left out something he wants to add. The Zuni Senator, Father Honsi, you have the floor.